Hi everyone. This week's case study, we're going to be talking about some knee issues. And again, the last case study that we went over was more about the lower extremity, which again, I'm doing this because this is going to kind of tie into what we were talking about as far as all the pelvic deviations. So as you know, the level 2 certification is going to be lower extremities. So I just think this is a perfect way for you guys to start getting some information on some of the deviations in the pelvis, how that's directly affecting what the knee, hip, and foot are doing. So in this particular case, this person, there are going to be pictures underneath, so you'll see the before and after shots. This person had dislocated his patella, so he's getting this patellofemoral mistracking. And the biggest deviations, there was probably 3 actually. One was there was a lateral shift in his pelvis towards his right. And now when you look at the before picture, you're going to see the plumb line intersecting right over into his left glute and almost touching his left leg. That's how much of a lateral shift there was in the pelvis. Now, what happened with that created a valgus knee. So you're going to see in the picture the knee kind of collapsing in. And then you also see the femur, or look at the hip, that was externally rotated. And then you also saw a little bit of knee flexion, so his left knee was bent a little bit. So this was just a great case study. I'm like, oh, this is perfect for these guys. So what we did, we started with the pillow squeezes with the neutral back position, and then we did the presses. Now we did the presses hip width apart, and that was more to do just kind of reset the muscles while the knee was in alignment with the ankle and the hip. Now from there we went into an iso hamstring, and that was with leg up the wall where he's doing some rotations, and that was to get more separation between the right side and the left side of his pelvis. So I wasn't really doing that to get hamstring flexibility, even though that is an outcome of that. I was doing it more to get the pelvis to separate because he had really tight hips. Matter of fact, when his right leg was up, he was doing the rotation, the left leg was on the ground, wasn't even on the ground. It was just literally almost just hanging there. His heel was touching. That's how tight he was. Now from there, we did the legs up the wall, which is basically like a bilateral hamstring stretch. And then from there, we went into a split position. So he went really wide with his legs, and that was to get more of the adductor. And the interesting thing on that, when he put his legs up the wall, he's much tighter in his left adductor. And that makes sense because when you look at the valgus stress and that shift, of course, this is going to be a little bit tighter on the left side. So we waited, we held that for a couple minutes till he felt that release. And then from there, we went into the rocking chair. So that's a strap around the knees and just going through plantar dorsiflexion. And that was just to start getting some of the lumbopelvic rhythm, but also it was to get almost reteach his body how to go through plantar dorsiflexion as he's going through relative hip extension and hip flexion while maintaining that lateral stability. So that was really key. And the last one we did was basically like a lat stretch, a standing lat stretch. And that was just to kind of get a vertical load, but to get a hamstring stretch, but at the same time, as he's kicking the buttocks up in the air, he was getting bilateral paraspinal engagement, and that actually tied right up into the whole thoracic region and upper thoracic region. So again, this particular case it was just very intriguing because he had gone through some PT, and they had said, well, it's the typical, hey, we stretch the hamstring out, strengthen the VMO. But however, as you see in the pictures, he had such a shift. We had to go after that first. That was absolutely critical. So if you look at the after pictures, you're going to see that shift way improved. Probably by, I don't know, even 3 inches, I think it was, or maybe even more. So, if you guys have questions with these case studies, hopefully you're reviewing these. This is an education process. I'm going to say this on every video, but I want you guys to really embrace it. Learn from this because, again, level 2 is going to be coming up here shortly in the next couple months, and this is just a perfect tie-in to that. So, if you guys have any questions, make sure that you post questions on the member site, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one.